Hello, everyone. Welcome to Barca News. It is June 7th, 2023, and it's been an absolutely chaotic and crazy day as Leo Messi has finally announced what will be his next destination, and that is the MLS team, Inter Miami. Now, that's not the only news for today, even though we are going to be talking about it a lot. There's also news about the Saudis now trying to approach Ilkay Gundogan, and finally, Barcelona, or more specifically, Xavi Hernandez has met with Kessie in order to discuss the Ivorian midfielder's exit. We have a lot to discuss, so let's begin. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the channel, to the live stream, to Barca News' live stream. That's every Monday and Wednesday at 7:15 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Thank you for all of you who are waiting for the stream to begin. Thank you for all of you who have joined it, and to all of you who will be watching it once it ends. Just as always, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. It goes a long, long way in helping this channel continue to grow so I can continue bringing you all the Barcelona updates as they happen. If you're not subscribed to the channel, I do post updates in between videos on the community tab, which is when I broke the Messi news earlier today. So make sure you hit the subscribe button because it will give you access to that community tab, and you'll be able to stay updated throughout the day, even in between videos. Now, as always, I am going to discuss some news, and then we'll head to the comment section to get a discussion going. But let's start with the bombshell news that Leo Messi will be joining the MLS team, Inter Miami. Now, this news came during the early hours of the morning. I was actually on my way to work when this news popped up, so I immediately shared it with all of you guys through the community tab. And it was later confirmed by Inter Miami itself, by Leo Messi through an interview that he did, which I will be talking about, and finally by Barcelona, who also issued a statement confirming this news. Now, it seems that Inter Miami made a lucrative offer that was tempting to Messi, not as lucrative, of course, as the al-Hilal offer, which was 600 million euros per season. But it seems that Inter Miami are offering Leo Messi a salary, which is not too clear. Some are saying it's around 50 million euros, but they're also offering other incentives, such as a percentage of all the jersey sales that Inter Miami will make once Messi arrives, and this will be paid by Adidas itself. They're also going to pay him a percentage of Apple TV subscriptions, because if you don't know, or if you don't live in the US, Apple TV has bought the rights to air the MLS on their services. So once Messi starts playing for Inter Miami, or actually since now, I guess, since he has made the news official, all the extra subscriptions that Apple TV are going to get as a result of Messi coming to the MLS, Messi will get a percentage of that, again, paid by Apple itself. And there's also the option of Messi being able to own an MLS team once he retires, which is kind of the offer that they offered to David Beckham when he came to the LA Galaxy. They offered him the same thing, the same kind of deal, where they offered him the chance to own a team once he retires. And of course, David Beckham does own a part of Inter Miami. So really good deal where a lot of companies came together, not just Inter Miami, but also Apple, Adidas. And there's even talks about many of the teams, or all of the teams in the MLS, actually pitched in to bring Messi back, because even though Messi is going to be playing against these MLS teams, they all understand the significance of what it means to having a World Cup winner come to the American League. And they all know how much more exposure, how much better he's going to make the league. So it seems that all the MLS franchises actually contributed to the signing of Messi, which is absolutely insane. Now, what happened with the offer with Barcelona? You know, as I mentioned in yesterday's video, Barcelona did present to Messi an official offer to bring him over to the club. But unfortunately, the timeline was not to the liking of Messi. You know, I explained in yesterday's video that even though La Liga have officially approved the feasibility plan, Barcelona still have restrictions with the fair play rules, which does not allow them to register under, or to sign players under the 1-to-1 rule. They can actually only use 40% of all the revenue that they make to sign players. So that would mean that in order for Barcelona to sign Messi, they would have to sell several players first to make space for his wage on the wage bill. And unfortunately, that would have most likely taken weeks. God knows how long, maybe till August, maybe till the end of the summer transfer market. And Messi was not willing to wait for that long because, of course, he waited for us 2 years ago, and then Barcelona were unable to sign him. And then as a result, he was only left with very little time to try to decide or to try to find a new club. And that's how he ended up at PSG, which we all know he was not happy there. And that's why he decided to leave. So unfortunately, Messi, was not willing to wait for Barcelona for that long. Barcelona could not offer Messi something right now, and that is why the deal didn't happen. I've seen a lot of people already starting with the whole conspiracy theories, talking about, oh, Barcelona never wanted Messi, or Messi never wanted to come to Barcelona, that it was all a show. Look, it's pretty simple. Messi needed an offer right now. Barcelona could not offer him something concrete right now. Barcelona needed more time, and Messi was not willing to wait for that long. So he decided to go to Inter Miami. Now, Messi, Antonella, and the kids still wanted to come to Barcelona. The father and the brother still wanted Messi to go to Saudi Arabia. So Miami seemed to be kind of like that middle ground that was agreeable to everybody. So they decided to go to Miami, plus the offer, that Messi received is a pretty good offer. Again, with the Adidas, Apple paying him percentage of the sales, plus his salary from Inter Miami, plus the chance to own a franchise team once he retires. And then, of course, there's something that I didn't forget. There is the sponsorship deals that Messi will be able to sign on his own once he comes to the U.S., because the U.S. is the biggest, or probably the best market as far as marketing in the whole world. So if he comes here, starts playing here, you can only imagine how many U.S. companies, U.S.-based companies are going to want to offer him, sponsorship deals so he can represent their products. There's got a lot of potential to make money here. But again, it looks like Messi's not going to be coming to Barcelona. It's unfortunate. I really want him to see him back in the club. Not so much because, part of me, yes, I wanted Messi to come back because what he means to the club. He's a legend. He's the best player in our history. He has, won everything there is to win with us. But I also wanted him back because of what would have meant economically speaking. I've talked about this a lot in my previous videos. They estimated that Messi was going to bring 250 million euros per season in revenues for the club. So if he would have came 2 seasons, which is what Barcelona were offering him, he would have generated 500 million euros in revenues for Barcelona, which would have gone a long, long way in helping Barcelona, come out of the financial hole that they're currently in, help them sign more players. And unfortunately, now Barcelona going to have to do without him, financially speaking, which is only going to prolong the recovery process. Of course, it's not impossible. It's going to happen, but it's just going to take that much longer. And that is why I'm disappointed that Messi's not going to come. But nonetheless, I wish Leo Messi the best in his career. And I am excited because I do live in the U.S. I'm in New York. But nonetheless, I'll be able to see him here in the MLS. Maybe when he comes to play in New York, we do have 2 teams here. We have the New York Red Bulls and New York FC. We also have DC is pretty close. Philadelphia is pretty close. So I can go see him there. And of course, Miami is only 2-hour flight. So I'm excited for him to come to the U.S., even though I am sad that he's not coming back to Barcelona. Hopefully, I'll be able to watch him play. But that's the news as far as Messi joining Inter Miami. He did confirm all of this in an interview, which I do want to discuss with you. But let's head to the comment section, see what you guys are saying, and then we'll go over the interview that Messi gave where he officially announced that he'll be joining Inter Miami. All right, let's see what you guys are saying. Chris says that he's sad that Messi's going to the MLS, but he wishes him good luck. I agree. I'm sad that he's not coming. But, of course, Messi, I always wish him the best of luck. Let's see what else. Cyril says they already know Messi would be a free agent by the end of the season. And if they really wanted Messi back, as they showed in front of the media, why didn't they start anything till the end? Because they couldn't. Barcelona needed to get the feasibility plan approved in order to be able to make an offer. Until then, they wouldn't have been able to do anything. So it's not that Barcelona didn't want to. Their hands were tied by La Liga. Cyril also says Tebas already gave the green light to Barca's plans. Again, I've explained this in yesterday's video. I explained it in this video. Yes, he did give the green light, but Barcelona are not under the one-to-one rule, so they're not. So they're still very restricted as far as how many players they can sign. In order to sign Messi, Barcelona needed to offload several players first, and that would have taken weeks, and Messi was simply not willing to wait. All right, let's see. Valerian says, can Barcelona bring back Messi on loan? I listened in January. I mean, if for Barcelona to bring Messi on loan, it would mean that Inter Miami would be willing to loan him out. I don't see that happening. Why would they? Why would you go through all this effort? Get Apple on board, get Adidas on board, get the entire MLS on board to try to bring the best player of the world to your team just so you can turn around and loan him out. That just doesn't make any sense to me. That's why when that report came out saying that Barcelona and Inter Miami were working together to bring Messi to the MLS, I said in my video, I reported about it, but I said in my video, I personally don't believe it. I think it's crap, and I still believe it's crap. I used that example before, and I'll use it again. It's like, imagine if you want a Ferrari and you work, day and night, 2 or 3 jobs, saving every penny, not going out, doing all these things to save all the money that you can get, and you finally buy that Ferrari, and you're so happy, your dream comes true, and then your friend comes and be like, hey, you want to rent it out to me for 1 year? Obviously it's not gonna happen. Okay, let's see what else. Chuchu says, Mo, hope you're safe in New York. Thank you, Chuchu. For those of you who don't know, right now there's Canadian wildfires in the forest, and all that smoke is making its way down. Right now, New York is completely covered in smoke. When I left my job, the sky was black. The whole city smells like it's burning. It's really bad here right now. We actually have the worst air quality in the entire world. So it's really bad, really dangerous right now. So I'll be staying inside until tomorrow when I have to go to work. But thank you, Chuchu. And let's get back to talk about the interview that Messi did, where he confirmed that he's going to Inter Miami, because he has left us with a lot of headlines. He started talking about his time after he left Barcelona and how hard it was, how difficult it was for him, to go to Paris, how sad he was with the whole situation. He also talked about how he continued following the team all these past 2 seasons, always watching the matches. He also talked about his constant contact with Xabi. They spoke very often. They spoke about the games, about how the season was going, and about the chance of Messi coming to Barcelona. He was very excited to come back. Xabi was very excited to have Messi back. But unfortunately, of course, it did not happen. Now, about his return, or about his possibility of coming back to Barcelona and why he's not going to be coming back to Barcelona, Messi said, and I quote, I obviously really wanted to and was very excited to be able to return to Barca. But on the other hand, after having experienced what I experienced and the exit I had, I did not want to be in the same situation again. Wait to see what would happen and leave my future in someone else's hands, so to speak. I wanted to make my own decision, thinking about myself, about my family. Although I heard that it was said that La Liga had accepted everything and that everything was fine for me to return, there were still many other things that had to be done. I heard that they had to sell players or lower players' salaries, and the truth is that I didn't want to go through that. I have already been accused of many things that were not true in my career at Barcelona, and I was already a bit tired. I didn't want to go through all of that. I made a decision that I am going to go to Miami. I still don't have it 100% closed, or something is missing. But we decided to continue the path there. The truth is that I had offers from other European teams, but I didn't even evaluate it because in Europe, my idea was only to go to Barca. So Messi, again, confirming what I've been saying all these past days or weeks, that his idea or his goal has always been to come back to Barcelona. He had offers from other European teams. He didn't even want to think about it, because when he came to Europe, the only team that Messi was interested in joining was Barcelona. And he also confirmed what I said in yesterday's video, which is that even though Barcelona did make him an offer, and that offer could have materialized, it would have taken weeks for that to happen. And Messi simply did not want to wait for Barcelona for that long, because the last time that he waited for us, we ended up not being able to sign him. and he was left with very little time in the market to find a new team, and that's how he ended up at PSG. And Messi pretty much does not want to go through that again. I completely understand. He must have been traumatic for him. He had all the intentions of staying, and then at the last moment they were like, "Sorry, we can't." And all of a sudden he had to rush, try to find a club, and most of the clubs had already finished signing their players, so he was left with very little options. So he had to find a club immediately, and then to be, to have such little time to uproot your entire family. He had been in Barcelona for so long, since he was 12 years old, to uproot his family, move him to Paris, find a new home, try to do all that. It was obviously very traumatic for him. He didn't want to go through that again. So he decided to go to Miami, which is, of course, again, unfortunate, but nonetheless, we wish him the best of luck. Now, he did talk also about desire to come back to Barcelona. He said that, once his career is over, he would love to come back to Barcelona. He thinks that Barcelona at the Camp Nou are his home, and that he would like to come back to the club as maybe an ambassador, or maybe as, someone that works in the sporting arena. But he did make his intentions clear that he wants to come back to Barcelona in the future. He actually wants to come back to the city of Barcelona to live there, because, again, he considers that his home. So it looks like the return of Messi will have to wait a few more years, and it's not going to be as a player, but probably someone as part of the club itself. But, Messi being the legend that he is, of course, the doors of Barcelona are always going to be open to him because of everything that he has done for this club. So let's head back to the comment section, and then we'll talk about the statement that Barcelona have released. And let's see. Chuchu says, it's good news, so we can now focus on building this team for the future. We can't build a team for the future without the money. Messi would have brought with him 500 million euros. That would have gone a long way to build the future. So no, it's not good news. It's terrible news for Barcelona. Sporting wise aside, even if you don't want to talk about sporting wise, economically speaking, it's a terrible thing that Messi's not coming back. There's nothing good about this news. Again, we're missing out on 500 million euros in a time where the club desperately needs as much money as needed. And with Messi not coming back to the club, now it means that the financial recovery of the club is going to take that much longer, which means building for the future is going to take that much longer. So no, there's nothing good about Messi not coming back. All right, let's see. Pate says, so let's start building our future. Again, same thing. Mahdi says, good thing we didn't sign Messi. It's going to cost us a lot in transfer market. Not really. It wasn't. There's no money. He was only going to get paid 50 million euros net. But then he would have been bringing in 250 a year. So, the ROI on that investment, it would have been huge. Situ says, now we're going to be linked to Carrasco again and again. Carrasco's right now on hold because, Atletico Madrid won those 19 million euros. Barcelona are only willing to pay 9. And again, now that the feasibility plan has been approved, and Barcelona and La Liga have informed Barcelona that they're not under the 1-to-1 rule, that they're still going to have financial fair play rule restrictions. The signings are now going to be very, very difficult to achieve. So we don't know if they're even going to go after Carrasco. We don't know if the club is even going to be able to sign anybody. Maybe a pivot, maybe Gundogan and Iñigo Martinez. But aside from that, it's going to be extremely difficult for Barcelona to sign anyone. Ross says maybe Messi can be loaned to us until Inter Miami get better. I just talked about it a few minutes ago. I don't see that happening. Why would Inter Miami want to do that after all the efforts that they went through to bring him to their club? Chuchu says Messi was going to bring 500 million euros. So I touched about this in several videos. The revenue that Messi would have generated at the club through sponsorships, ticket sales, viewerships, merchandising, it was calculated at 250 million a year. Barcelona offered him a 2-season deal, so that would have made a total of 500 million euros in revenue, which is going to be, unfortunately, we're not going to be able to count on. So again, nothing good about the news that Messi's not coming back, because now it just means that the club is going to take that much longer to recover financially, which also means that the project is going to take that much longer to continue building on. But anyways, let's head back to the Barcelona statement, the official statement of Barcelona confirming that Messi will be joining Inter Miami. And what Barcelona said was on Monday, June 5th, Jorge Messi, the player's father and representative, informed club president Joan Laporta of the player's decision to join Inter Miami despite having been presented with a proposal from Barca. In consideration of the desire of both FC Barcelona and Lionel Messi for him to once again wear Blaugrana. President Laporta understood and respected Messi's decision to want to compete in a league with fewer demands, further away from the spotlight and the pressure he has been subjected to recent years. Both Joan Laporta and Jorge Messi also agreed to work together to promote a proper tribute from Barca fans to honor a footballer who has been, is, and will always be beloved by Barca. So the statement seems to confirm that meeting that happened between Jorge Messi and Joan Laporta on Monday was not to discuss Messi's return, even though that's what Jorge Messi had said after the meeting was over. He told the reporters that Messi wanted to come back to Barcelona and that he too wanted Messi to be in Barcelona and that there was a chance for him to come back. Seems that meeting was for Jorge Messi to tell Laporta that Messi had decided to go to Inter Miami, which, it kind of, I don't want to say upsetting, but why would... I think it was unnecessary for Jorge Messi then to lie about it. If you had already told Laporta in Barcelona that Messi was going to join Inter Miami, and I understand you probably didn't want to break the news yet, you could have said no comments. You could have just walked away. But to go to Joan Laporta's house, tell him Messi's going to Inter Miami, and then a few minutes later come out and say, there's a chance that Messi is going to come back to Barcelona. I think it's a crappy move. But again, Jorge Messi is known for crappy moves, and he's not really a likable person. But Barcelona, Messi, everybody has confirmed, so it's up 100% official. Messi will be coming to the United States to join David Beckham's team, Inter Miami, and we're going to have to see who will join them. There was talks last season when that Suarez might join them. There was obviously been a lot of talks this past few weeks that maybe Jordi Alba, Sergio Busquets will be joining them too. Nothing is, of course, official. Nothing is confirmed, but we're going to have to see who will be joining him in Inter Miami. Even though I am sad that Messi will not be joining Barcelona, like I said, I am excited to have him here on American soil. So hopefully I'll be able to watch him in some matches. Now, very interesting announcement by Inter Miami. If you haven't seen it, go to their Twitter page. But they posted a video announcing Messi's Messi's decision to join Inter Miami. But in the announcement, they seemed to fire shots at all the reporters that had been reporting about Messi, talking about, oh, for sure, confirmed, Messi to Saudi. Oh, confirmed, Messi to Barca. Oh, confirmed, Messi to, I don't know, Real Madrid. And they did all these snippets of all these different tweets from all these reporters, kind of like, firing shots at them. And they went after everybody. They went after Fabrizio Romano, Marcel Loren, Beto Brunati. Very interesting tweet. I have no doubt that it had the blessing of Messi, because Messi did criticize the media a lot during his interview where he confirmed that he will be joining Inter Miami. He talked about how all the media kept reporting things about him that were completely untrue, and that he was tired of seeing headlines day after day that were simply had no basis in reality. So very interesting video. Definitely recommend you watch it on Twitter. I would post it, but of course it's copyrighted. So, I risk getting my channel shut down. All right, let's get back to the comment section, and then we'll talk about Ilkay Gundogan, because Messi, even though the news about Messi pretty much has dominated all the headlines and all the media outlets, there's still other news. There's still other things going on in Barcelona. So Ilkay Gundogan, there's some news about him. But let's get back to the comment section first. Dark Knight says, hey, Mo, been waiting for this. Thanks always. In my opinion, since Messi won't be joining Barca, I believe Barca will only suffer from a revenue standpoint and not a lot from a sporting perspective. Yeah, that was sporting perspective. Obviously, Messi would have still added a lot to the team. Yes, he is 35 years old, but he's still the best in the world. He had like a 70-something goal contribution in 70-something matches at PSG. And that's at PSG, right? A crappy team with no identity, with no plans on how to play, with selfish players, a total circus show, and yet Messi was averaging about 1 goal contribution per match. So imagine what he would have done here at Barcelona in a system that he's familiar with under Xavi at the Camp Nou in his home. I think he would have contributed a lot to the team. Can you can only imagine how he would have been able to link up with Lewandowski now that he's more of an assist provider than an actually goal scorer. I think he would have contributed a lot sporting wise. But yeah, the big loss, obviously the bigger loss is going to be the economic standpoint, which is not, it's not going to be easy to overcome, unfortunately. Okay, Mahdi says Neymar is linked to Barcelona again. Fake news. Barcelona have no intention of bringing Neymar back. First of all, they can't afford him. It's impossible. Messi was going to come on a free transfer, and still Barcelona couldn't close that deal. Can you imagine Neymar, who still has a contract with PSG? No way in PSG are going to make us give us a discount. They paid a lot of money for him, 220 million euros. They're going to want some of that money back. So no way Barcelona can afford the transfer fee. And even if somehow PSG, by some miracle of God, they decide to, yes, we are going to let him go for free, Barcelona cannot afford Neymar's salary. And even if they could afford his salary, Barcelona don't want that mess back in their locker room. They don't want Neymar shenanigans. So no, Neymar is not coming to Barcelona. All right, let's see. Brad says, what does Messi not coming back to Barca open for other signings? 25 million per year could sign a good player, right? So Messi was being offered actually around 12, 13 million euros per year in net salary. So yeah, you can get another good player in his place. But maybe Gundogan, we don't know. We'll have to wait and see, because this obviously changes all of Barcelona's plans. They're going to have to get back to the drawing board and see what happens. Obviously, the number one priority is still to sign a replacement for Pivot. That's the number one priority. Once that's done, then Barcelona will see what else they could do. And then, of course, there's Gundogan, and there's Iñigo Martinez, which is already completely closed. And there's Gundogan that Barcelona are very in advanced talks. Now, speaking of Gundogan, this is a great segue, because the next news segment is about the German midfielder, and it seems that Saudi Arabia are now interested in signing Ilkay Gundogan, and they're offering him a lot of money, 100 million euros per season, which is absolutely insane. The specific team that's currently offering him that is al-itihad. That's the team that has signed Karim Benzema, and I think they're going to pay him, I think the deal closed for 200 million euros per season. Waste of money. I wouldn't pay anything for Benzema, to be honest. But again, not my money, not my problem. And then they're also trying to work on closing the contract with Conte, with N'Golo Conte. And they're now after Gundogan, and they're offering him 100 million euros. Now, as it stands right now, Gundogan has no intention of going to any exotic countries, not Saudi Arabia, not China, none of those exotic leagues. He wants to remain in Europe. He thinks he still has a few more seasons left in him to competing at the highest level. And as I said in yesterday's video, the offer that's most attractive to Gundogan right now is Barcelona's offer, because Barcelona are offering him a 2-season contract with the option to extend for 1 more. So that's a total of 3 seasons, and that's what Gundogan wants. He wants a longer contract, and that's one of the main reasons, or probably the main reason, why he doesn't want to renew with Manchester City, because Manchester City are only offering him a 1-year contract, and he wants a longer contract. So the Barcelona offer right now is sitting in pole position for Ilkay Gundogan, but of course, he's not going to make a final decision until after the Champions League final. So there's still sometimes things could happen. He could change his mind. But as of today, what's today? Wednesday, June 7th. The favorite offer, or the offer that's most appealing to Ilkay Gundogan, is Barcelona's. But again, things could change. The transfer market is very volatile. Things change every minute. But again, as of today, Barcelona is sitting in pole position to sign Gundogan. Now, let's go back to the comment section, and then we'll finish up with the last news, which is about Frank Kessie, because Barcelona have officially met with the player. So we'll talk about that. Let's see. Sintu says, I wouldn't mind Paredes as our pivot. I don't like Paredes, to be honest. He is Paredes is very erratic, and that's one of the reasons why they kicked him out of PSG. He makes very serious mistakes, and he either gives you great performances or really bad ones. There's never in the middle. So I don't like it. You know, the pivot position is one position in Barcelona that you cannot afford recklessness. You cannot afford inconsistent performance. You know, the pivot is the heart of the team. You need someone consistent there, someone that can perform every match, match after match, season after season. Because if not, the whole thing collapses. The whole Barcelona system collapses, leaving your defense exposed and leaving your offense completely disconnected from your back line. So I don't think Paredes will be a good option. Grandmaster Yoda says, let me spin some positivities. I don't know. No more embarrassed early exit in UCL for Messi. No more carry jobs. No more scapegoat role playing. No more building team for Messi. Yeah, I think that's part of the reason why he also chose Inter Miami. I think, yes, he wanted to come back to Barcelona. He wasn't willing to wait for Barcelona for that long because of what happened last time. But I think another reason is, he's 35. He's going to be 36 this month. He has won everything there is to win on the international and at the club level. He's had a pretty rough career as far as the media side of it and the hate. Whenever a team wins, whether it was Barcelona or PSG, it was the team's effort. Whenever they lost, it was Messi's fault. Constantly being scapegoated, constantly being blamed for everything. So I think that's part of it too, why he wants to come to the U.S. and play in Inter Miami. No expectations. He can enjoy the final years of his career with no pressure, nobody blaming him for stuff. So I think there is some truth to that. It's tiring. He's been playing professionally since 16, 17, over 20 years of constantly being blamed for everything, of half the world hating you. It's tough. It's not easy. Cinto says, Mo, who would Gundogan bench on Barcelona midfield? So in the box, the thing is, depends on who comes and plays in a pivot position, but he's most likely gonna be rotating with Gabi. That's my guess in Xabi's formation. He'll probably also alternate with Frankie de Jong, so he can alternate with both. But we'll see who comes in a pivot position. But I think definitely, because that's where he plays. He plays on the right mostly. So it's going to be Gavi and Frankie. He'll probably alternate with both. But I think having Gundogan and Frankie on the field at the same time with their ability to break lines and drive the ball forward, I think that would be something that Barcelona could hugely benefit from, because right now there's a little bit of disconnect between the midfield and their attackers. And I think Gundogan could just give us that edge to compete on the European stage, which is what Barcelona are currently missing. Okay, let's see. Dark Knight says, with no Messi next year, I hope Xabi will go back to his traditional 4-3-3. Well, Messi has nothing to do with Xabi choosing the 4-4-2. He chose it this season. So, and I think he likes it. It works for him, especially given the players that he has. So I think Xabi will probably stick to the 4-4-2. And I think a good indication of that is that Barcelona are not really prioritizing a left wing. So I think that's an indication that Xabi will most likely stick to the 4-4-2 formation, because in the 4-4-2 formation, there's not much need for a left winger, right? Dark Knight says, hit the like button, guys. Thank you, Dark Knight, for that. Hit the like button. There's half the likes as many people watching. Let's hit the like button. Let's get the YouTube algorithm to recommend this video so you can help this channel continue to grow. All right, let's do one more comment and then we'll wrap up with the last bit of news, and then we'll have a few more minutes to continue talking. Brad says, Gundogan could make us a Champions League contender. Our defense is solid, just need more creativity on the ball. 100% agree. I think this season we prove it. We have the best defense, one of the best defenses in Europe. So I think we're good on the solid in the back line. Now we need that missing ingredient of connecting our midfield to our attacking line. Gundogan could be that key to unlocking it. I wish we could bring out another winger, but given a tight financial situation, it doesn't look like it, because Dembele and Rafinha are just not it. Because Dembele is when he's healthy, he's one of the best players in the world on the wing. But that's the problem, right? He gets injured a lot. And Rafinha, I've made my feelings very clear about Rafinha. I just don't see that guy making Barcelona competitive on the European stage. So I wish we could bring someone else, but unfortunately, the financial situation means most likely not. Okay, let's talk about the last bit of news, because Xabi has officially met with Kessie to tell him that even though he likes him on a team, he likes his style of play, he likes his attitude, how he's integrated with the team and everything, unfortunately, he is a player that needs to be offloaded in order to improve the club's financial situation and being able to sign players. Now, Kessie has a lot of interest in the Serie A. He has some interest in the Premier League. Barcelona think they can get something north of 30 or 35 million euros. So he arrived for free. So that would be net profit for the club. There's no amortization involved. So Barcelona need to make this sale happen. And this is why Xabi met with the player to let him know of the club's decision. You know, he's also going to be meeting with Ansu Fati, with Ferran Torres, to let all of them know that they're on the chopping block. And after the meeting concluded, there was a lot of media outlets who started reporting that Kessie had agreed to leave. And immediately his representatives posted on social media that that was fake news, that Kessie has no intention of leaving Barcelona, that he hasn't agreed to leave Barcelona, and that he wants to remain at the club. And this is bad news for Barcelona because, like I explained in yesterday's video, Barcelona need to offload players, several players, to make signings. And Kessie is one of them. And if he does not agree to leave, that means there will be no signings this summer. So Barcelona need to offload him. So they're going to have to continue talking to him. They're going to have to continue negotiating with him to try to convince him to leave. Because again, if nobody leaves, Barcelona cannot sign anyone, because Barcelona are 200 million euros above the wage limit. And despite the feasibility plan being approved, Barcelona is only going to be able to use 40% of all the money they generate to sign new players. So, for example, if you want to sign a player whose salary is 10 million euros net, that means 20 million euros for the club, because the club pays the taxes, which is the double. So, in a normal circumstances, you would sell a player worth 20 million. You would take that 20 million and sign this other player who costs you 20 million. In these circumstances, they're going to have to sell someone who's worth 40 so they can sign someone who's worth 20. So, for every player that they're going to sign, they're going to have to offload 4 or 5 players. So everybody who's on the chopping block needs to leave, or Barcelona are not going to be able to sign anyone. Anyways, that's all the news for you guys. We have a few more minutes. Let's do more comments. Let's get the discussion going, and then we'll wrap it up. Crazy day, starting with the rumors that Messi is going to go into Miami, then confirmed by the clubs, then confirmed by Messi, then by Barcelona. I mean, it's been absolutely crazy. But, I did say in Monday's live stream that this week is going to be hectic. And as always, Barcelona does not disappoint, and it's definitely been a hectic week. And it's only Wednesday. There's still several more days to go. Okay, let's see. Where did we leave off? Sintu says, Mo, are all our players registered? Not yet, but with the feasibility plan, Barcelona are able to register everybody. So the registrations are coming. Don't worry. Everybody will be able to get registered. That's the number one priority. The only one has been officially registered is Gabi. And that's not because of the feasibility plan. That's because the Mercantile Court ruled in favor of Barcelona, allowing the club to register Gabi. If you want more details, check out yesterday's video. I talked about it in a lot more detail. Okay. Doris says it's always a problem to get players out. Seems like Man U and Real are able to get it done easier. I mean, these players have contracts. They're within all their legal right to want to stay. So it's up to the club to convince them that it's not in their best interest to stay, and that's one way to do it, is telling them, hey, if you want to stay and just collect your salary, that's fine. But just know that you're not going to play a single minute. If you really want to do that, all you're going to do is ruin your career, you ruin your market value, ruin your chances of being called up to your international squad, to your country squad. So that's what Barcelona are going to have to do. Jose Montero says it was 250 million. Now it is 60 million. I don't know what you're talking about. If you can clarify, that'd be awesome. Grandmaster Yoda says, it really hurts me for Xabi too. He was praising him so often and showing interest from months ago. He just seemed really excited about the possible return of Messi. Yeah, but unfortunately, it's not going to happen. It's sad, but what can we do? Chris says, I heard that Messi didn't want to join because he didn't want to be the reason a player had to leave or make someone's salary go down. No, I mean, I just went over what Messi confirmed in the interview. It was because he just didn't want to continue waiting for Barcelona for weeks and months. And then at the end of the day, being left, out to dry, which is what happened last time. So that's why he decided to enter Miami. He didn't want to leave his future in the hands of someone else and have to wait weeks for it. He wanted to make a decision right now and then be able to focus on, on the summer break, having a month off, then, being able to know where you're going so you can plan ahead, your moving your wife, your kids, finding schools for the kids, finding where to live. And all that takes time. So he wants to be able to know ahead of time. So when he starts playing, everything is in plan and not have to rush everything like he did when he made the move to PSG. Cinto says, sounds like to me, Xavi is not honest with Kessie. I mean, I don't know how much more honest can you get when you sit down with the player and say, hey, you need to be offloaded, you need to leave. That's as honest as it gets. So, I don't know. Mahdi says, Hakimi wants to leave PSG. I wish we make a move toward him. I do like Hakimi, but yeah, there's no way we could afford him, unfortunately. Mark says, can Barca get to the 1-1 rule? Not this summer. Maybe next summer. We'll have to see. But Barcelona need to reduce, their wage bill by 200 million euros in order to get back to the 1-1 rule. 200 million euros is a lot of money. Messi could have helped with that. If Messi would have generated 250, 200 would have gone to reducing the wage bill and still have an excess of 50 million. So Barcelona would have immediately been able to go back to the 1-1 rule, which would have meant that Barcelona would have been able to sign freely, but it's not going to happen. So that's why it's not good news that Messi's not coming back. Another thing is that Barcelona will lose 100 million euros next season because they're going to move from the Spotify Camp Nou to the Olympic Stadium. So that makes reducing the wage bill by 200 million euros that much harder. So, no, I don't see Barcelona going back to the 1-1 rule, at least for another season, maybe even 2. So, not looking good, but we got to keep moving forward. All right, let's see. Chicken Tagine. It's a good name, by the way. Says, what about our 6 loan players? What's the deal with them? They're all going to be sold except Abde. Abde is going to be the only one who's going to get a chance. Everyone else is on the chopping block. So Nico, Umtiti, Collado, Trincao, Serginho Dest. Who else am I missing? I think that's all. They're all going to be offloaded. Abde is the only one coming back and getting a chance to prove himself. Dorza says, where is Umtiti heading? Most likely to Lyon. Ara says we need Joao Felix. We can't afford Joao Felix. I mean, no way. All right, guys, that is it for today. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for your comments. Don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe. Thank you to those who will be watching it once it ends. I will see you in tomorrow's video. Good night or good morning, wherever you are in the world. And as always, Visca Barça.